Hi students, this is Srinivas, Department of Botany. This video was shooted with cell phone camera, so I request you to use your earphones. This is period 9 out of 17 periods. In the previous class, I explained about anemophily and hydrophily. Now I am going to explain about zoophily. What is zoophily and what are the characteristics? Zoo means animals. Phily means pollination. The pollination that occurs by animals is called zoophily. Most common pollination is zoophily. Among zoophily, most common is insects, that is entomophily. Among insects, what is the most common? Bees or honeybees. So, most common pollination is zoophily. Most common zoophily is insects, that is called entomophily. Most common entomophily is bees or honeybees. These honeybees are generally used for agricultural purpose. So many animals are there which help in pollination. The pollination that occurs by insects is called entomophily. By insects is called entomophily. Pollination that occurs by birds is called ornithophily. By birds is called ornithophily. Ornitho means birds. The pollination that occurs by bats is called chiropterophily. By bats is called chiropterophily. Pollination that occurs by squirrels is called therophily. By squirrels is called therophily. The pollination that occurs by snakes is called ophiophily. By snakes is called ophiophily. The pollination that occurs by snails is called malacophily. By snails is called malacophily. That means what we have to understand, so many different types of animals are involved in pollination and what are the terms involved. So, by insects is called entomophily, by birds is called ornithophily, by bats is called chiropterophily, by squirrels is called therophily, by snakes is called ophiophily, by snails is called malacophily. Like that, number of animals are involved in pollination. This is very, very important, my dear students. Go through once again. Flowers generally release good odor, that is good smell, but some flowers will produce bad odor. For that bad odor also, some insects are attracted. What are those two insects attracted for bad odor? See, what are the two insects attracted for bad odor? Beetles and flies are attracted towards foul odor. Foul odor means bad odor. That means these generally insects are attracted towards good odor, good smell. But these are the two insects which are attracted towards bad odor, that is foul odor. Try to concentrate on these points. what are the characteristics of insect pollinated flowers? Insect pollinated flowers, that is entomophily flowers. Flowers are large and showy. Flowers should be larger in their size, and flowers are showy, and flowers are colorful. Flowers will produce fragrant. Flowers will produce fragrant, and flowers are rich in nectar. That means they produce more and more nectar. Small flowers are clustered into an inflorescence. That means if an insect may visit the inflorescence, for that one visit, all the flowers get pollinated. That point you have to remember. And pollen grains are sticky or non-sticky? Pollen grains are sticky in insect pollinated flowers. That means when pollen grains are released, the released pollen grains are attached to body of the insect. When this insect falls on another flower, that pollen grains, when the insect lands on the stigma, the attached pollen grains are received by the stigma. So that means pollen grains are sticky, whereas wind pollen grains are non-sticky. Those 2 points you have to remember, my dear students. Sticky pollen grains produced by sticky pollen grains, that means insect pollinated flowers. Non-sticky pollen grains by, that is wind pollinated flowers. So one point I would recall, which pollinated flowers are not colorful and they do not produce nectar? Both wind and water pollinated flowers. That means both wind and water pollinated flowers do not produce nectar. Those flowers are not very colorful. So flowers are not very colorful, do not produce nectar. In which type of pollinated flowers? We have to say both wind and water pollinated flowers. Whereas in insect pollinated flowers, the flowers are large, showy, rich in nectar, and fragrant, colorful. Pollen grains are sticky. These points are very, very important, my dear students. Try to concentrate on these points. Pollen grains of anemophily, that means by wind, those are non-sticky. Non-sticky pollen grains are obtained from, non-sticky pollen grains are produced from, that is anemophily. Sticky pollen grains are produced from, that is entomophily, that is by insects. Pollen grains are covered by mucilage covering to protect from wetting, from hydrophily, that is by water. These are very, very important, my dear students. Try to concentrate. The flower will give rewards for insects to land on the stigma. Those are so-called floral rewards. Those are so-called floral rewards. What are the different types of floral rewards? One is called nectar. Next one is pollen grains. Third one is providing safe place to lay or deposit eggs in the ovary, in the flower. So what are the usual floral rewards? Usual means you have to say these two only. This will not occur all the plants. That's why usual floral rewards means you have to say nectar and pollen grains. Nectar and pollen grains. Floral rewards means we have to write all these three. Usual floral rewards are nectar and pollen grains. Floral rewards are nectar, pollen grains, providing safe place to lay eggs. There will be the symbiotic pollination found in some plants. Symbiotic pollination means, what does it mean? Symbiosis. Both the organisms are mutually benefited. That type of association is called symbiosis, and the organisms are called symbionts, and the pollination involved means symbiotic pollination. Symbiotic pollination found in, that means two examples are there. That is, one is called yucca. This is a plant belongs to family Liliaceae family. That means an insect called Tageticula yuccacella. This is nothing but insect or moth. This insect deposits its eggs. This insect lays its eggs in locula of ovary of yucca plant. So that is Tageticula yuccacella, an insect lays its eggs in locula of ovary in which plant? Yucca plant. That means this is the plant name and this is the insect name. These two are involved in symbiotic pollination. Symbiotic pollination. These two organisms are involved. Cannot complete their life cycle. Cannot complete the life cycle without each other. This yucca plant should have this insect. Then only the life cycle will be completed to each other. Next, another plant, Amorphophallus. Insect is beetle. These two are involved in symbiotic pollination. These two cannot complete their life cycle without each other. So that means Amorphophallus, a plant, get pollinated by beetle. Yucca gets pollinated by moth called Tageticula yuccacella. So this is the plant name and this is the insect name. This is the plant name and this is the insect name. These points are very, very important, my dear students. Try to concentrate. Try to understand these points. What are the important characters of Amorphophallus? Important characters of Amorphophallus. In our NCERT textbook, it is given tallest flower. Tallest flower found in Amorphophallus. But actually, it is not the tallest flower. It would be considered as largest inflorescence, we have to say. So, tallest flower or largest inflorescence found in Amorphophallus. Height of the inflorescence is 6 feet. What is that weight? 54 kg. So, height of the flower or height of the inflorescence, you may consider here like that. Height of the inflorescence is 6 feet. Weight of the inflorescence is 54 kg. Largest inflorescence found in Amorphophallus. This Amorphophallus is an example for calm and underground stem modification. Tallest flower found in Amorphophallus. What I said previously, tallest flower in Amorphophallus. This is given in our NCERT textbook. But actually, don't say it is a flower. It would be a inflorescence. That is largest inflorescence found in. Tallest flower found in. That is Amorphophallus. So many insects may fall on the stigma of flower, and those insects consume the pollen or nectar without bringing about help in pollination. So many insects, that is many insects, may fall on stigma flower without bringing about pollination. Such insects are called pollen robbers or nectar robbers. So that means many insects, when they land on stigma flower, they do not help in pollination, but they consume pollen grains. They consume nectar. Those insects are called pollen robbers or nectar robbers. Are you understanding, my dear students? Try to concentrate once again. Now I would revise the entire pollination. What is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anthers to the stigma. How many types of pollination? How many kinds of pollination are there? That means autogamy, allogamy. Autogamy also called self-pollination. Cross-pollination also called allogamy. That allogamy is how many types? Geitonogamy, xenogamy. Transfer of pollen grains from anthers to the stigma of same flower called autogamy or self-pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anthers of one flower to stigma of another flower of same plant is called geitonogamy. Transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another flower of separate plants is called xenogamy. Single flowered pollination is autogamy. Single plant pollination is geitonogamy. Of these self-pollination, cross-pollination, which one is more easier for the plant? Self-pollination is more easier. Which pollination has more advantages? Cross-pollination has more advantages. Again I am telling which pollination is much easier, self-pollination or autogamy. Which pollination has more advantages, cross-pollination or allogamy. The pollination which is functionally cross-pollination but genetically self-pollination is geitonogamy. Next question. The pollination in which both functionally and genetically cross-pollination. What is that one? Xenogamy. Which one is considered as true cross-pollination? That is xenogamy. Next, those are the different kinds of pollinations. Next, direct pollination occurs in gymnosperms. What is direct pollination? Pollen grains may directly fall on micropyle of ovule. Next, indirect pollination occurs in angiosperms. What is the reason for that? Pollen grains are directly falling on stigma. Directly falling on stigma. So finally, pollination occurs in how many groups? Both gymnosperms and angiosperms. In gymnosperms, direct pollination occurs. In angiosperms, indirect pollination occurs. Right. Next one. There are different agents of pollination. What are the different agents? They may be the biotic and abiotic. Biotic agents means animals. Abiotic means wind and water. Majority of plants perform biotic. Few plants perform abiotic. These 2 points also you have to remember, my dear students. Majority of plants show biotic, that is by animals. Few plants show abiotic. Next, most common pollination is biotic, that is by zoophily. Most common zoophily is insects. Among entomophily, most common insect is bees or honeybees. These honeybees are used in agricultural purposes. Next one, the most common abiotic, that is anemophily. Anemophily means by wind. Now I am asking 2 questions. Say true or false. The pollination that occurs by wind is called anemophily. True. The pollination that occurs by animals is called anemophily. False. By animals is called zoophily. Next question. Anemophily pollen grains. Wind pollinated pollen grains. Wind pollen grains are lightweight, non-sticky, well exposed stamens, often possess leathery stigma. pollen grains are produced in enormous number as compared to number of ovules. Next, which pollinated flowers do not produce very colorful flowers, do not produce nectar? That means both wind pollinated flowers and water pollinated flowers. Next, hydrophily. The pollination that occurs by water is called hydrophily. This hydrophily occurs in how many genera? 30 genera. 30 genera belonging to which group? Monocots or monocotyledonous. Will all aquatic plants show hydrophily? No. All aquatic plants do not show hydrophily. Majority of aquatic plants do not show hydrophily. Few aquatic plants show hydrophily. That means the plants which are showing hydrophily are aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means hydrophytes. All hydrophilous plants are aquatic plants, but all aquatic plants are not hydrophilic. This hydrophily is of two types: epihydrophily, hypohydrophily. Example for epihydrophily: Vallisneria. Example for hypohydrophily: two examples are there. One is Hydrilla, next one is Zostera. Freshwater hydrophilic, that is Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Marine water hydrophilic, that is Zostera. Male flowers cut and reach the female flower. This condition occurs in Vallisneria. Female flower has long stalk or female flower has spirally coiled pedicel in which flower? Vallisneria. Ribbon shaped leaves found in Vallisneria. Long ribbon like pollen grains found in Zostera. Unisexual flowers are found in, you have to say both Vallisneria and Zostera. Examples of hydrophily are very, very important, my dear students. Try to concentrate. Example of epihydrophilic: Vallisneria. Examples of hypohydrophilic: both Hydrilla and Zostera. Next one, insect pollinate entomophily, that is zoophily. So many insects, so many animals are involved in zoophily. The pollination that occurs by insects is called entomophily. By birds is called ornithophily. Pollination by bats is called chiropterophily. See, all those things are here. Pollination by squirrels is called pterophily. Pollination by snakes is called ophiophily. Pollination by snails is called malacophily. Sticky pollen grains are produced from entomophily. Non-sticky pollen grains are produced from anemophily, that is wind pollinated pollen grains are non-sticky. Insect pollinated pollen grains are sticky. Next one, What are the different types of floral rewards? Three types of floral rewards are there. What are they? Nectar, pollen grains, providing safe place to lay eggs. What is the moth which plays a symbiotic pollination in yucca? That means you have to say Tageticola yuccacella. In Amorphophallus, which insects plays a symbiotic pollination means by beetle. Largest inflorescence found in Amorphophallus. Tallest flower found in Amorphophallus. Height of the inflorescence in Amorphophallus is 6 feet. Many of the insects may land on stigma of the flower without bringing about pollination. That means many insects, though they land on stigma, they do not help in pollination. Those insects are called pollen robbers or nectar robbers. Okay, my dear students, we meet in the next class. Thank you very much for watching this video.